On to long ball number 2. Last night saw 2 goalless CONCACAF Champions Cup quarterfinals. Club America Cruz Azul 0-0 and the Galaxy and Tigres also 0-0. Tonight on Wednesday, will we see more? Vancouver takes on Pumas and LAFC takes on the aforementioned Inter Miami.
I think we'll get goals tonight. We got no goals in both of those games last night. I mean, even the Mexican game, but the all-Mexican affair didn't deliver any goals as well. So I hope we get some goals this evening. I guess, okay, just to put a review on the Galaxy, good, I guess, that they held Tigres goalless.
Didn't lose.
They didn't lose. Yay. But they got to go now. They have to go to Monterrey, and they're probably going to lose. And if you look at the numbers.
What's the formula? Home, keep them tight, and then what do the Mexican teams do?
Well, but you need, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the Galaxy we cannot expect the Galaxy, considering they're starting Major League Soccer, to drop a bunch of goals on Tigres, or even really try to drop a bunch of goals on Tigres, and it shows. 17-7 shots for Tigres over the LA Galaxy. You were so disgusted with the performance that you went off camera for a second there, Rob. I'm not sure what that was. Anyway, 17 shots to 7 for Tigres at, again, in LA. The Galaxy did get a couple of shots on target, but just not enough to really threaten. And as I mentioned, Club America and Cruz Azul also played to a goalless draw. That game generating 20 shots, 5 shots on target. Cruz Azul had more possession. Club America slightly more dangerous. That one will be delicately poised in the second leg, and that one could go either way. I think Tigres will take care of the Galaxy. As for tonight's matchups, Vancouver at home, and they've already surprised us, right? Yep. Maybe they will surprise us again. Now, I think the status of Ryan Gauld is critical here, and he's injured, right? He's out. He's got an injury. I haven't seen anything about him maybe potentially being back for this game. And would this be the game you would want to rush him back for? If you are Vancouver, if you've had this great start to the season, is this really something you want to test? And you might be looking at a big MLS campaign. You're not going to rush him back. So Ryan Gauld missing is a major part of Vancouver's problems as they are at home, and they need goals to take with them back to Mexico. And then the other game, obviously, is an all-MLS game, and I do expect goals in that game. Like, I expect there to be some fireworks between LAFC and Miami, and we saw Messi play, a little bit over half an hour or something like that in that game on the weekend, and he scores.
That's all he needed.
I think he'll be on the field in this game. I really wish this was a little bit earlier in the evening for your West Coast friend Jason, or your East Coast friend Jason Davis, who is not a West Coast person. 11:30 Eastern time, man.
And that's if that starts on time.
Well, I don't know if they're going to kick off at exactly 11:30, but it will be fascinating. I think probably LAFC will get an advantage in this leg, but I do think Miami's capable of overturning it. Maybe 2-1, maybe 1-0, something like that.
Going back to your point about Vancouver, it does bring up an interesting kind of thread to pick up on of, do teams value this competition way higher than their league positioning? I mean, like you said, Vancouver, they have, you've come out the blocks hot. The only game they've lost so far was when many of their key players are out on international duty. So largely successful in this early 6 games of the season. Do they value CONCACAF Champions Cup enough to maybe put some of their key players in a high rotation, a quick turnaround from their game at the weekend?
Yeah. I mean, look, everybody's dealing with fixture congestion, right? Everybody's dealing with, with the issue of trying to balance their season. I mean,
so if they threw the kitchen sink at this tonight, would it be worth it if they burn out some of their guys and they kind of fade in the league?
Right. Well, I mean, it's a long season in the league, and I think you want to believe that you'll be able to recover and find some way. And maybe if you drop a result or two or drop some points in the league, it's not going to upend you. I mean, this is the thing about if there's one benefit to Major League Soccer being the way it is with playoffs and all of that, then the argument is, if we sacrifice some points in the league because we're going for the CONCACAF Champions Cup, it's not the end of the world. We can still finish 3rd or 4th or 5th or 8th or 9th and make the playoffs. Neither one of these teams wants to do that. They have ambitions of being a Supporter Shield winner They want to be in first place in their conference. They want to be the top overall seed. That's what they want to carry in to their postseason in Major League Soccer. And every game does matter in the league. But, again, only one MLS team has done this. That MLS team didn't really have to go through Mexican opposition except at the end. So maybe this is, hey, we'll be, we can do something no one else has ever done before. At the very least, match Seattle and become the second MLS CONCACAF Champions Cup winner.
So 2 quarterfinals on the docket tonight. Going back to your point about Leo Messi. So the super subs for both of these teams, Olivier Giroud versus Leo Messi. Who would you rather have? I mean, that might be a redundant question, but both are kind of filling the same sort of role at this point.
I mean, obviously Olivier Giroud is kind of becoming a joke. Is that a fair statement? He's not scoring.
No,
he's not scoring goals.
I've been to one. I think I saw his only goal for LAFC so far when I went to see the League's Cup last year when LAFC was downed by the Columbus Crew. But yeah, you wouldn't say that Olivier Giroud has been a roaring success for Los Angeles Football Club. So we started this conversation with Tuesday's games being scoreless. Which one of these games between Vancouver and Pumas, LAFC, Miami, which one gets more goals out of it, do you think?
Oh, Inter Miami and LAFC will put up more goals. Unless Puma rocks Vancouver, and I don't think they will. I think that'll be a tight game. I could see that be a 1-0 win for Vancouver or maybe a 1-1. The Mexican clubs, for as much as we can predict what's going to happen when they go back down to Mexico in the second leg in these cases, the Mexican clubs recently haven't been, incredible in their away leg. So there's a chance here Vancouver could take a lead to Mexico. There's a chance of that. But I do think LAFC and Inter Miami being MLS teams and not having the same sort of dynamic, I think they will deliver goals. I mean, it may not be 6, but I do think they will deliver goals.
With the Mexican teams, kind of when they do the first round or the first leg of a 2-round matchup in the United States, do they typically rest their players for the second round, or are they just have an away performance that's not quite as good?
No, that has happened a little bit. I mean, I do think that, this season we've seen some Mexican teams make some strategic choices in terms of their lineups when they go into these legs. And I think their idea is, okay, we can, get a passable result away in the United States, or in this case for Vancouver in Canada. And then, we'll be fine going back home because we have such a massive advantage when we play in our own building against MLS teams. And that's you can't blame them for that calculation. It has been proven to be correct more times than not.